Good evening, Greg here, burning at both ends, burning on the back end of Tuesday. It is 12:07 a.m. Pacific, technically Wednesday, the 18th of July, 2018. Great day, had a couple of customer discovery interviews today around this I-Corps program I'm involved in. This is this DOE-funded technology transfer training, where we're learning about the lean startup model, business model canvas, ecosystem, customer discovery interviews, that whole thing. We are through 72 interviews at this point, and we have a very solid body of evidence that points to our technology having some pretty serious market traction. We've identified a couple of product segments that are going to see some serious growth in the next 5 to 10 years, and our technology is just very nicely timed to kind of implement, to like hit the market and really help with that growth. And so we had our first really serious conversation today about what would it look like to actually spin out a company and create a startup and do this. And it's really exciting, actually. And so we were just talking about how would we get funding, because we did submit a proposal for some government funding, but it doesn't come till February. We don't learn about it till Thanksgiving, and it's like a 3-year program if we get it. And we've heard from many people in our interview process that we got to get to market in the next year and a half to 2 years, 18 to 24 months, and so this would just be too slow. So we need private funding. We need to move faster. And the other key thing is that there's this critical conference in Europe in the middle of September where everyone in our kind of industry is going to be there. And so we can kind of speak to the whole community. It's a small community. We can speak to them and really get a good understanding as to what we do, where we go, who we partner with. And then one of the big companies that we would want to partner with is starting to talk to us in a pretty serious way. They're sending us some specifications. They put us in touch with one of their key business development people, and so that's very exciting too. And so, a bunch of interesting things are falling into place here, and the idea of a startup is sounding very exciting. Now it's ease back. It's very early. We haven't done anything yet, right? Nothing's happened. A lot has to happen before we would make this decision. But it's just fun to talk about, and it's fun to talk about seriously, as opposed to just hypothetically. It's fun to really say, okay, how do we get to Europe for this conference? Because that would be the next step. And one of the cool things is that in the opening session, one of the instructors, a guy named Steve, who has a company called Living Ink, where they make black ink out of algae, which is really cool. He talked about kind of their path and how they just kept piecing together more funding, little bits of money here and there, just to keep them alive, to keep the ship moving forward, to keep them, looking at, around the next bend. And that's exactly where I see us. Is okay. So we got this little bit of funding to do this I-Corps program. Now we really have a good understanding as to where we have traction in the market. We know who to talk with. We've made these critical contacts. As a matter of fact, one of the gurus in the industry has been emailing us kind of almost like obsessively about us getting to Europe and just going to the conference, and this is the critical thing. He's almost more excited about it than we are. It's kind of funny. And we have two scientists that are the kind of the main inventors of the technology. And, I don't think that they're so excited about a startup, and I don't blame them for a second. It's a lot of work, and one just retired, and the other has a very senior position at our company, and he's been there for a few decades, so it makes sense why he wouldn't want to just jump ship for a startup. But it's just really fun to talk about this and look at it very closely. And some of the key interviews that we've had over the course of the last couple of weeks are going to become critical contacts that we're going to try to leverage and see if they can work with us to help get us further down the road and just see what's around the next bend. So the next step would be to get to Europe. Then from there we'd meet a bunch of people, we'd learn a lot, we'd know where to go next, and then we need to get funding to go there next, and kind of just keep kicking it down the road, see how far we can get. And I think that would be a lot of fun to do that. And then at some point, either it would make a lot of sense to have a startup, or we hit a dead end, or something else happens. Who knows? But it's just exciting, and we had a great call with Jean, one of our instructors. So Jean is just awesome. She gave us some great advice around what to do and how to do it, and what's required. She's been there, done that, a lot of experience. I have to say the instructors of this program are just phenomenal, and really lucky to have them. I'm going to talk to another one on, I think, Friday afternoon. Good time for that, Friday afternoon punch, kind of kick it up a notch on Friday afternoon, get ahead a little bit. So, and then also today, a whole bunch of interviews were scheduled for the week, so we're definitely going to hit our 75 interview mark, no problem. We're probably going to have more interviews after I-Corps is even over. And then, next week I'm in Denver. It's the graduation. Oh yeah, and then tomorrow's the presentation, the big presentation that I'm going to crush. And I've been working really hard on it. I did some. I'm like playing these little tricks. I'm switching gears here to the presentation, by the way. I'm playing these little tricks, and just the background here is, with all the other work, I was focusing more on the interviews and setting those up and executing those, and I was choosing not to focus on the presentations, and I was definitely feeling a little bit weird about that. I felt like I really wasn't giving my all, and so for this last presentation, I decided last week to really focus on it. And I've been playing these little tricks on myself to get myself to do it, because it's still challenging. So like this morning, my youngest daughter came in just as I was about to do something for the presentation. I was like, of course I love having her, but at the same time she got up a little early, and so she kind of came in a little early and interrupted some of the work, but that's totally fine. And so we made a little deal. I was going to get her these coloring pages, so we search on Google for coloring pages, so I print them out so she can color. And while she was picking, because it usually takes her a lot of time to choose, which I was taking advantage of, so on one screen I have two monitors here. On one screen I had her coloring pages, and so she could choose. On the other screen I was typing myself an email where my challenge was, let me just bullet real quick notes for each slide, and I was able to do that in about the 15 minutes that it took her to choose her coloring pages and print them out. And so I played, I'm doing these little micro work tricks on myself. And then also I'm just seeing a lot of other things show up. So our industry mentor put together a great report today about a P&L, about what would a startup look like, and he also put together a Word document of kind of an assessment of the market, which is exactly what I need to read to help me prep for my presentation. And so I haven't started the actual presentation yet, but tomorrow I have plenty of time. So the wife came back today, so she's got the kids in the morning, so I have about maybe 3 or 4 hours in the morning before we hit the webinar to present. I think that's going to be plenty of time, because I've done a lot of prep, so I can speak about all these topics very well now. I understand the knowledge, so now I just got to make the slides, and I'm very confident I can do that. So I'm very confident I'm going to crush this presentation tomorrow, and I'm kind of proud that I was able to muster up the determination to bust the workout, because definitely did not feel like doing it. I definitely really kind of enjoy more of the customer discovery interviews and setting those up, but I was going on that, when I don't want to hammer on a project, I hammer on a project, and so I hammered on that project. And but kind of the more exciting part of this is the startup talk, and that's just very exciting. I just really enjoy that, that type of discussion, because it's very positive, very forward thinking. It's building on this whole body of work. Our industry mentor said, it would be really sad if after I-Corps this thing just kind of died, and then the funding didn't come, and then the thing just kind of fizzled away. So, and I totally agree with that. I mean, we put a lot of work into this, and it'd be really cool just to see how far down the road we could take it. So anyway, I will wrap there. This channel is all about I will mention my success journal, so that's still crushing it today. I put a good amount of HBD work in today, but it was mostly I-Corps work, and just my little checklist here is really critical, and I really appreciate it, and it's really working for me. These 1 week chunks are really working. So this is one of the tools I'm using to help me, and this channel is all about my journey as an aspiring entrepreneur, things I'm doing, moving and shaking, the tools I'm using, the systems I'm putting in place, the failures, things I'm still working on. Oh yeah, today I did make a mistake. I found myself complaining about something, and it was interesting. After that, and it was, to be honest with myself, I mean, it was light complaining. It wasn't heavy. It was rather light, but it was still complaining. Let's just call it what it is. And afterwards, I physically felt like weak, and I'm like, I gotta stop doing that. I gotta stop. It didn't last very long. On the scale of complaining, it was rather light, I have to admit, but still, it was complaining, and it made my body feel weird. Or not weird, but just kind of like, just weak, just, not confident. And so, where I go is I'm like, all right, correct, to continue. And so next time I want to catch myself when that part of me wants to put that out in the world, because I want to keep that in. All right, it might be hard to stop myself from thinking of it right now, but I can certainly not proclaim it. And so, still working on that. And I find that I am getting better at catching myself. And what I need to understand better is, when is my guard down? I need to realize that. When is my guard down and this comes out? I got to figure that out. So, something to work on. And so it's all about my journey, things I'm working on, systems I'm putting in place to help me. This is a great journey. So subscribe, comment down below, ask questions, tell me how I'm doing, tell me how you're doing. I'd love to be of service. So if there's anything I can do to help, please let me know. And we will wrap there. So check out the description. There are some good links down there. Motivational videos, some great music, some stuff about ants. I think there's a Gary V post about voice. And then the beat in the background is an Afro beat inspired by fellow Hoodie. G Money is my alter ego. I write these beats. Check them out on SoundCloud. And that'll do it. So get some rest. Get up tomorrow. Light it up. Crush the day. Inspire folks. Do great things. And I will see you in the morning.